Okay, it's a bit of a slow start today because my neighbours were doing some construction and it's only just now become quiet. I think they're completed, so let's go ahead with the channel. Today's topic is living the understanding that it's all you. Living the understanding that it's all you. All right, let's see what we got. Greetings and thank you for the topic. Living the understanding that it's all you. So let's begin by creating an understanding initially that it is all you. And by all you, I mean everything. Everything is you. There is only one. And this one existed conceptually, yet desired to know itself experientially, which is not possible when there is only one. So it created the illusion of more than one by individuating itself infinitum. And these individuations are you, the channel, your friends, relatives, the animals, the trees, and so on and so on and so on across all of the galaxies. And all of these individuations are actually the one thing. So you are this one thing. And from that perspective, if you are this one thing and this one thing is everything, then you are everything. Another way to perceive this understanding. There is the universe. And in this universe, there is you. So if there is the universe and you're in it, then you too are the universe. The forest, of course, implies the trees, but also the many life forms that live in the forest. The ocean implies the water, but of course it implies all of the creatures that live in the water. And the universe implies the space and the planets, but also all of the life forms within. So, you are not separate from the universe. You literally are the universe. You are a perspective of the universe. The universe is one thing, and you are in it, so you are that one thing. And as you are that one thing, then you are all of it. You are everything, because it is all part of this one thing which you are. So, this is the fractal nature of the one. It is one thing, and everything within is part of this one thing. And then within the one you have galaxies, and these galaxies are one thing, and everything within it are this one thing. And then you have the star systems. And the star systems are one thing, and everything within it is this one thing. And then you have planets, which are one thing, and everything within the planet is part of this one thing, which includes you. When we bring this down, this fractal model that it's all you, down to you the individual, you are living your life But just as the creatures are part of the ocean because it's the one thing, and the creatures are part of the forest because it's the one thing, and the planets are part of the star system because it's the one thing, you are part of your life because it's the one thing. There is no separation where it could be said, it is you and it is your life. You are not in your life, you are your life. It is all part of you. So, the trees, the birds, the furniture, the other people, the animals, the sky, the universe, it's all you. Because there is only one thing. So, as you are your life, and you're not separate from your life, you're not having your life happening to you, but your life literally is you, then your life is an experience of yourself. So if your life is an experience of yourself, and you live in a divine creation where perfection is the default state, meaning everything which occurs is perfectly calibrated with the divine purpose. The divine purpose being to realize thyself through experience. This is the one's purpose, and as you are the one, then it is also your purpose, and as everything is the one, it is everything's purpose. It is the Earth's purpose, it is the solar system's purpose, it is the Milky Way galaxy's purpose, because all of these are aspects of the one, and the one's purpose is to know thyself through experience. So, if you are your life, and every moment of it is perfectly synchronistic, perfectly calibrated with your divine purpose, which is the one's divine purpose, then the moments of your life are meaningful. They contain understanding. There is a offering of wisdom in every single moment. So, when you live your life with the understanding that it's all you, your life is not seen as something happening externally, but is seen instead as another aspect of you communicating to itself, also you. So, this is a concept which we have channeled into the channel's upcoming book release, which we have called To Coalesce. So, the Master's attitude chain to live in an awakened and purposeful way where the moments of your life are utilized in the most efficient way, such that the communication you are receiving can be most succinctly integrated so that there is growth along the path of knowing thyself experientially, is to first live from a place of surrender, and then to accept, and to flow, and finally to coalesce. To surrender is to be open to whatever life may be bringing you next. Before it has arrived into your now, you are already at peace no matter what it shall be. Acceptance is when it has arrived in your life, you can now see what it is, you are at peace, you accept, you do not resist. Flow is to have a belief that it has come into your life has come to you in this shape because there is meaning, there is significance, there is an intelligence which is bringing to you the perfect moment opportunity for you to most expediently expand along the path of knowing thyself experientially. And finally, coalesce. And to coalesce is to be part of your life. Allow your definition in the physical realm to include your life. And therefore, you are aware of the things in your life in a way which is as if, because this is true, that you are talking to yourself through your life. So, when adopting this methodology for living your life, where you are aware that you are speaking to yourself through the proxy of your life, then you live in a way which is much more in the moment, is less consumed by the trivialities of mind diversion, disruption, worrying about the past, worrying about the future, because you understand that the very moment now is rich in communication coming from yourself to yourself. In fact, it is a very rich source of wisdom and guidance that you are giving to yourself at all times in the waking state. You are the energetic being, the infinite, immortal, invulnerable energetic, an individuation of the One. And you are temporarily animating this avatar. So, this experience you are having is an illusion. It's part of the illusion of the all. It could be said that the all is a decentralized blockchain type of creation, where the One has created the all, created the potential for all experience, but has given the individual units, which are aspects of itself, the autonomy to manifest into their lives from the infinite potential. And then each of these individuations together form a constructed or a manifested reality in a decentralized way. So, your avatar and your life are both manifestations of the highest self, this eternal individuation of the One, which has the autonomy to manifest within the larger creation of the One. And so, as the highest self is manifesting the body and manifesting the life, then you can see it is the same substance. The life that is being lived by the avatar are the same thing. They are both the physical experience of the higher self. Just as when you play the video game and your character is moving about within the game, as you, the player, outside of the game, external to the game, just as the higher self is external to the physical reality, you understand that the character you are playing and the life scenario it is living are in fact the same stuff. It is just the substance of the game. There is no real separation. On the screen there is the apparent separation, but actually it is just the same substance, the substance of the game. In a very similar way, from the higher self perspective, the avatar which you are animating in this lifetime and the life it is living are the same substance. There is no separation. There is an illusory sense of separation when you place identity in the avatar and you notice that you have defined physical borders around your body which separate you from everything else. But it is just the illusion of separation so that there can be the functionality required for experience in the physical paradigm. Because from the expanded view where you are the eternal being, it's just all the same stuff. As it is all the same stuff, and it's all the higher self, and the higher self is your, from the perspective of the avatar, if you identify as the avatar, then the higher self is your source of infinite wisdom. And as your infinite wisdom source is manifesting the avatar and the life it is living, then the infinite wisdom is available in all of it. Not just arising from within, but also arising from the life itself. So, when you live your life, become more aware of the communication that you're receiving from the higher self through your life experience. A classic example. There has been a occurrence of a repeating scene on Earth at this time, where there are people in a waiting room with many other people waiting to be inoculated against the pandemic. And then while they are waiting there, a person who has just moments before been inoculated collapses on the floor and has a seizure, has a heart attack, perhaps dies. If living coalesced, if living the understanding that you are all of it and that you are communicating to yourself from the highest self perspective, not just from internally but also through the life itself, because it is the one substance, then this is meaningful. And the meaning that is derived is, of course, for you to discern on the basis of what feels intuitively right. And of course, this requires some honing, some practice to become very clarified in what is being communicated. However, in this example, we would say that in a very blunt instrument type of way, the communication is from your life. If you are sitting in a waiting room and a person who has just had the procedure which you yourself are waiting for, and they collapse on the floor, convulse, heart attack, possibly die, then the communication is reconsider what you are doing. Is this the right thing for you? Is this dangerous? This is a consequence of the action you're about to take, which your higher self, through the manifestation of your life, is showing you right before your eyes. So, if living coalesced with this understanding that you are speaking to yourself from the higher self perspective through your life, then you would stand up and you would leave the room and not come back. In more subtle ways, where this mechanism is working. When you have some issue happening in your life and you are looking for a solution, then pay attention to what is occurring in your environment in every single moment. Be in the now, because if you have asked this aspect of yourself, which is your life, or we could say the universe, for the solution, then the mechanism is you will be given the solution, because wisdom is attracted to a wisdom deficit. Wisdom will flow into a vacuum of no understanding when it is held open in a very deliberate way. And we mean it like this. When you wish to know something, wish to bring a solution into your life because you are facing a problem, don't focus on the problem, but instead focus on the solution. When you focus on the problem, you will create more of your focus. So you want to focus on the solution so you can create the solution. And then there is the process of faith. So you put your attention on the solution, but not to necessarily solve it. If that can't be done immediately, release it and then have faith that the solution will come to you. And this process of asking for a solution, universe, please help me to solve this issue, and then taking your attention from it and maintaining a state of faith that the answer shall come, is in a sense holding open a hole or a deficit or a vacuum where wisdom is lacking, but it has a negative pressure. It has a attraction, a suction, and it will suck the wisdom into that deficit to complete it, to balance it. And when it does, you can absorb that wisdom into yourself as the solution for your problem. So, the way that the universe, or your life, which is really just you, will do this could be the words you hear in a song, the first image you see when you turn on your television, the sentence that you overhear as you walk past some strangers sitting outside a cafe, the newspaper story that is open and folded to randomly on the seat next to you when you get on the train. When you live coalesced with the understanding that you are all of it, then you live in a very awakened state, immersed in the now and absorbing the communication from your environment, from your life, from you. So, this requires trust, and it requires a love and respect for your life, because it is you. If it's all you, then all the emotions that you hold and attitudes towards your life are an attitude you hold towards yourself. So, if you hate an aspect of your life, then you are hating an aspect of yourself. If you are afraid of an aspect of your life, then you are afraid of yourself. So, as you are a being of love, because you are an individuation of the One, and the One is love and its derivatives, then to be clarified of who you are and living from the understanding that it is all you, then the attitudes you would hold towards all aspects of your life are love and its derivatives. And when you are able to maintain this state of love and its derivatives for all aspects of your life, then you are very open to receiving the wisdom that is coming from your life. When you hold an emotional state which is not love and its derivatives, then this is resistance. If you are angry, hateful, depressed, fearful, these emotional states, which are from the negative end of the spiritual spectrum, which are not you, but are a confusion about who you are all forms of resistance. So if you resist any part of your life, then the wisdom which is contained within, because it's all you, and it is you communicating to you from the higher self perspective, because it's all the one substance, then the more that you resist your life, then the more you are blocking the wisdom coming to you. The wisdom which has been made available to you and is perfectly synchronized and calibrated to your most expedient expansion into the realization of self through experience as the One. Then you are stunting your growth. You are limiting your expansion. And you will have a tendency to trap yourself in patterns where the experience is continued to repeat and repeat and repeat, because every time that particular energy dynamic occurs, you are choosing an emotional state which is from the negative end of the spectrum, meaning that you are resisting it. And so the learning which is being offered to you cannot be integrated, incorporated into understanding of self for expansion, transcendence of that limit in your self-understanding. And until you are able to transcend that limit in your understanding, then the most pragmatic and perfect way to continue to keep you calibrated to your expansion is to continue to give you that lesson, that experience of life, until you get it. And so you get these repeating patterns. So, love it all and understand that it is all perfect. And from this state of acceptance and flow coalescence, you begin to absorb and integrate the wisdom which is occurring in your life, which is you. And so the repeating patterns fall away. And when there is no repeating patterns, or the patterns repeat maybe just 2 cycles before you get it, then your growth and expansion becomes very rapid. And you are then on the fast track to self-mastery within your current life. If you have people or circumstances in your life right now which you find it very difficult to have an attitude towards of love and its derivatives, and the very intuitive feeling is that you should resist it, you should hate it, you should despise it, then expand your perception to see it from a more distant perspective. So, for example, if there is somebody in your life that makes your life very difficult, and you feel that it would be very difficult for you to have pleasant feelings towards that person, have feelings or an attitude towards that person which is from the positive end of the spiritual spectrum, which is where you reside. Anything in the negative is not you. It's misidentification, because you are constructed from the substance of the one, and the one is this positive end of the spiritual spectrum, love and its derivatives. Then recall that just as you are, this person also is incarnated from the light of the one. They are an individuation of the one, going through the experience of physical reality so that they can fulfill divine purpose of knowing thyself through experience, which is actually the one knowing itself through experience, through the proxy which is them. So they are all of it, just as you are all of it. And in fact, they are you, and you are them. So, from this perspective, if you love the one, God, your creator, then by default, you also love them, because they are the same thing. If you love yourself, then by default, you love them, because they are you. It is the same thing. So, instead of being repelled by the temporary physical avatar they have in this current life cycle, love the eternal being which they are. Love their higher self. Love the One. And this will be a transcendence of the resistance you hold towards them. And when you can transcend that resistance, you are moving into a place of acceptance. I accept they are who they are because I understand they are the eternal energetic. They are the love of the One. They are the One. They are me. Therefore, I accept them and understand that they are living a temporary physical experience for the purpose of fulfilling divine purpose. Then the wisdom which you are bringing to yourself through the medium of your life can come from them also. And the pattern arising from the resistance of not taking what is given to you through them so that it must be given again and again and again will break, will dissolve, and you will be able to move on beyond that into new growth, new frontiers, more expansion, more opportunities to know thyself through experience. Finally, if you have experiences in your life, circumstances, scenarios, which you find it very difficult to be at ease with, and of course the most obvious example is the oppression of human culture and society under the guise of medical safety occurring on planet Earth right now. Realize that you are the infinite, eternal, immortal being. And just as when you play the video game and an injury occurs to the character you are playing in the game, you yourself are not touched. You are invulnerable to what occurs in the game. It doesn't matter what happens to the character in the game because you can never be touched by it. In a very similar way, what occurs in your life cannot touch who you truly are. You are the eternal being. You existed before this lifetime began. You will continue to exist after this lifetime concludes. You are eternal, just as the One is eternal, because you are the One. Therefore, these occurrences, these moments, these scenarios are just the mechanism of experience for the One to realize of itself through experience, to know thyself, to fulfill divine purpose. And you are here fulfilling your role which you chose. You exist now because you chose to be born into the physical paradigm of the earth human. So, be less concerned about the smaller moments, the days, the weeks, the months, because you are an eternal being, and from the perspective of the eternal being, what occurs in a week is of little significance. What occurs on a day is of little significance. What occurs in a year is of little significance. What occurs in a lifetime is of little significance when you are eternal. When this life concludes, in whatever way it does, you will return to the realization that you are the eternal, immortal, infinite, invulnerable being. Life, as you live it, is an illusion. It's a context. It's a substance which has been made available to you such that you have a mechanism by which you can fulfill the divine purpose and realize of self as the one. Therefore, be willing to play with it. Be brave to experiment. If you are the eternal being that shall never cease to be, then if you are in a moment where you are brave enough to speak spontaneously, to be so authentic that you feel the moment with your presence without utilizing the mind, and it goes wrong, what does it matter? What does that moment matter from the perspective of the eternal being, which has countless lifetimes? It doesn't matter. It only matters when you are immersed in the illusion and you believe you are the finite being, which has a start and an end. Be brave. Listen to your life. And as much as you can, accept all of it through the lens of love and its derivatives, so that you may grow and expand, thereby fulfilling your divine purpose in the most rapid and efficient way that is possible for you. Thank you, and we love you.